Welcome, everyone. My name is Matt Gruen. Today I'm going to start a new series teaching people how to use Vegas Pro. Today we're going to start with the very basics and then we'll work our way up throughout. So please like and subscribe if you are interested in learning more. So, first, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use Vegas to enable simply a animation with relatively static images and kind of through that teach you all of the basics. So first up, we have our project media screen, and I've preloaded it with one of the two objects that we're going to use today. It's going to be a very simple aspect, and as you get more and more involved, you will be building a great deal of projects that you can go through and have levels. Some of my projects have up to 30, 40 levels. But today we're only going to do three. We're going to have two video levels and one audio level. But throughout that, what we're going to do is go ahead and get started. And we're going to get started by starting off with simply a pre-made version here. And I'm going to drag. Actually, I don't want that to change. We're going to drag. You can drag it on, or you could double click. And with that double click, you create the video. And you can see here that even though this is just a simple video, you already see the animation that's going on here. But that's only part of it. It's kind of boring throughout. What we want is a ship to go through here. So what I'm going to do is I like to drag things onto the project media first. If you drag it onto the screen below, it will automatically work as well. But that is your choice and based off of your preference. So there are two ways to add another layer. One way is to right click. The other way is to just drag and move it. And now what I want is the Starship Enterprise to be on the or in front of the Starlight. As you can see, the Starlight's blocking it because of the level of order of Vegas Pro. It's pretty simple. For video, it is going to be the first one is always going to be the most in front, and everything underneath it will be farther back. So what we need to do is switch these two. It's as simple as just floating these two like this. And all of a sudden now we have the correct. So just to do a quick repeat, one will always be in front, two will be behind. If we had a three, it would be behind one and two, etc. And that's how we get layering. But we will focus on layering at a different time. Right now, I have this Enterprise with a transparent background, which then allows you to see everything from behind. But if you notice here that the Enterprise is both one, static, and two, it only lasts 5 seconds and then disappears. So, what we're going to do is first we're going to fix this 5 to 10 second missing. How do we do that? There's multiple ways. One, if we want to, we could clip the last 5 seconds of the video clip by trimming the end. If we do that, then we have a shorter video. I'm going to undo that, Control Z. And instead, I want to extend how long that the model is going to be there. So if you click the very edge here, you can drag, you can move it around wherever you so choose. And with that, matching it to the very edge does the same thing, except now we have a 10-second video. We could change this as much as we want. But the most important thing is we now have a static image with a moving image. With that, we get an illusion of the Starship Enterprise being transported through this what we can say is a warp vector or warp bubble. But there are the things that we can do as well. So let's go ahead and learn the very, very basics of simple animation of a static object. In order to do that, there's this button here which does the event pan crop and the video event FX. It is this square button here. And what we're going to do first is have the Enterprise move from the left side of the screen all the way to the right. So how do we do that? If we move it off the screen here, and then we need to add another keyframe insert. So add it at the very end. So if you click once, you could click to create a keyframe insert, or you could just double click and create that insert. I don't want that insert here, so I click on the delete keyframe right here. So that just deletes it overall. When we click on it here, think of it as the first key rate is where we want that initial position. The last keyframe rate is where we want the last position. And throughout the rest of it, it's going to be a nice, even transition throughout the entirety of those keyframes. So what this will do is if I transport it here like this, for the 10 seconds, it will move left to right equally until it exits the screen on the right-hand side. So that is the simple and easy way to do a left to right key screen. You start here with it. So if I'm going to scroll out slowly. You can see the F here. The F is the frame rate. This will allow you to see where it ends up or starts, and then it ends up on the other side. And what it does is throughout these entirety here, it slowly moves the frame rate across, creating motion. This motion is what starts some of the basic animations. If these were a little bit better animated GIFs, it would look even better with, say, like the nacelle moving, etc. But all in all, you have now the motion from left to right, a very simple animation. Now what we're going to do, and I'm going to delete the keyframe here, is that I want to create motion. Oop, that's not what I want to do. I forgot to click here. Now what I want to do is to create motion going from far back to the screen to as close to the screen to make it look like it's actually traveling through the warp bubble. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the size of the Enterprise from small to large, and it will look like it's traveling to us in the Z direction instead of the X direction. And at that point, how do we do that? So I'm going to scroll to the very far out here, and what we could see here is basically what Sony is going to allow us to move our keyframe at. What we're going to do is I'm going to enlarge it as much as possible. And what you see here is that the Enterprise is now at the very back of the keyframe. And we can always change it with size here, but we're going to keep this fairly simple. And at the very end here, we'll add another keyframe. This time we're going to shrink it back up. And now what we will see is that you have the Enterprise coming to us. And even though, interesting enough with the background, it looks like it's moving, but that's just the optical illusion of the backdrop. And that allows you to even see that it's actually trying to move throughout. This is the simple way of creating said animation. So what we're going to do now is actually create the animation, and then I'm going to teach you how to speed up the animation so that you can make it the speed that you're looking for. And there are multiple ways, but the easiest way I will show. So first, how do I actually then now create this into, let's go MP4 file. So I double click here so that the yellow bar here will basically the loop region. It will then recognize automatically that I want to render as much as possible. I'm just going to call this enterprise. And with that, we're going to create this at, I'm going to go 1080p 30 frames per second, basically. And you can go throughout. The better quality is going to require extra size. But go ahead and hit render. I already have this. We're going to create this. This is a relatively simple file. It'll take a few seconds for it to render. Now we're going to make this faster. One of the best ways to make it faster is if you go to the very end here of that and then hit Control, you get something called time stretch. And it can time stretch up to about 30%. So make it roughly 3 times faster. What we're going to do is we're just going to make this twice as fast. You can do that to pretty much any type of type of file. So we're going to run to this as enterprise 2. Actually, it's taking a little longer time to render. That's because we compressed it, but all in all, it's not that much longer. We're going to now compare the two. You can see the difference between the two. They're the exact same, it's just the overall speed of both. All in all, you can also, instead of, I made the mistake. So notice that I did not click up above, and it rendered 5 seconds afterwards as well. So you see that blank space? How do we get rid of it? Go ahead, double click again. It will automatically select there. And then what you'll do is render as and type in. And now you look, and we've gotten rid of that blank space here, and the animation is now complete. The only thing left here that we probably would like to do is to add a soundtrack. I don't have a Star Trek type soundtrack that I can add here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to add an interesting soundtrack here, kind of at random from what I have. I'm going to add this to here. And the reason why I'm going to add it here is I want to show you how to add tracks manually as well. Generally, I don't add any of these manually. I just drag and will automatically. But if you right click down below, you can insert any types of tracks, but we're interested in audio track. You can see the difference here is the 1 and 2 look like a film reel. The third one has a music, so you know this one can only add an audio type of music sound. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to now try to compress this and hit like a major melody type. So what I want to do is I want to take a closer look here. So first I know it's going to end roughly here and trim it. What I'm going to do is I want to take a closer look here. So I'm going to, out here lengthens the time scale. This one shrinks it. So I want to make sure that I cut more, the less important parts, I'm not sure how good this is going to sound. I'm going to shrink this down so that it stays within this loop. It sounds pretty good. And with that, I can render and have audio added to it as well. Now, this in itself has been a basic tutorial on how to create a simple animation with sound from basically scratch. Please like and subscribe as I will go through more detail with some of the more exciting portions of Vegas Pro. But right now, thank you and have a great day.